In March 2019, a woman in Dallas walked into a hospital emergency room with a gunshot wound to her abdomen. She told doctors her husband had shot her by accident. The gun went off while he was cleaning it. The story seemed straightforward, a tragic household accident. But within 48 hours, everything changed, and a man named Robert Carter faced a charge that would divide a courtroom: murder or self-defense. This is the case of the Dallas shooting that was not what it appeared to be. Robert and Michelle Carter had been married for 11 years. Neighbors described the relationship as volatile. Arguments were common. Police had been called to their home at least 4 times in the past 2 years, though no arrests had ever been made. On the night of March 9, 2019, Michelle arrived at Parkland Memorial Hospital with a gunshot wound. She was 7 months pregnant. The story Robert gave police was simple. He was cleaning his 9mm handgun in the kitchen when it discharged. The bullet struck Michelle, who was standing nearby. It was an accident, he said. But emergency room physicians noted something unusual about the wound trajectory. And when investigators processed the scene, they found inconsistencies that did not match Robert's account. The Dallas County District Attorney Office charged Robert Carter with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Then, as more evidence emerged, the charge was upgraded to aggravated assault on a pregnant person, a first-degree felony. When Michelle recovered and could provide testimony, she initially supported her husband's story. She told detectives the shooting was an accident. But 3 weeks later, she recanted. She told investigators that Robert had become angry after an argument about his drinking, that he had threatened her with the gun, that the gun had gone off during a struggle. The charge was upgraded again. Now it was attempted murder. Robert Carter attorneys built their case around Michelle's original statement, the one she gave at the hospital. They argued the recantation was coerced, influenced by prosecutors and victim advocates who had spoken to Michelle during her recovery. The defense presented evidence of Robert's clean criminal record prior to this incident. They called character witnesses. They argued that Robert had no history of violence. They also presented an alternative theory, that Michelle may have staged the shooting herself, possibly as part of a scheme involving a life insurance payout. The prosecution called 17 witnesses. They presented the recovered bullet, forensic analysis, testimony from the attending ER physician, and, most damagingly, a recorded jailhouse phone call in which Robert admitted to investigators that he and Michelle had been fighting that night. The jury began deliberations on a Thursday afternoon. 47 hours later, including 2 full nights, they were still deadlocked. On the third day, the jury sent a note to the judge. They were split 10-2, with 10 members favoring guilty and 2 holding out for acquittal. The judge gave them what is known as an Allen charge, a legal instruction urging them to reconsider, to examine their views in light of the evidence and the law. 6 hours later, the jury reached a unanimous verdict. Robert Carter was found guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a lesser charge than attempted murder. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison. The 2 dissenting jurors later gave interviews. One said she never believed Michelle's recantation. The other said she believed Robert's original account. Both said the case haunted them. Michelle Carter divorced her husband while he was awaiting trial. Their daughter was born healthy 3 months later. Robert Carter served 8 years before being released on parole. Case closed.